We already mentioned earlier that one of the greatest risks within sales is to make assumptions and to think you know what the customer wants. Therefore, great salespeople do not tell what the customer needs or, really hard sell their stuff, but rather ask what the customer wants and really listens a lot. So selling is mainly, if it's done good, is mainly about asking questions and really actively listening in the sense of listening to understand what the customer is saying and telling you. And this can obviously totally mean the messages behind the actual message. So basically, the message behind what the customer is really telling you. So, in the following, we're gonna have a look at ways and questions to figure out what the customer really wants, what they're telling you, how to actually get into a proper conversation, because pretty often the customer walks into the store and you just approach them with a friendly hello or welcome. They're already like, oh, I'm just browsing, and they're just already blocking without, although they have entered your store and apparently have an interest, but without you having done anything, they already be like, sorry, I'm just browsing. I don't want to, get into a conversation, just because they are so scared of people trying to hard sell to them. You have probably experienced this yourself. So you go in any retail environment, and then already like one or many sales reps are coming towards you and being like, how can I help you? Can I show you something? And sometimes not really leaving you alone, but really like kind of pressuring you into having a look at things you don't really want to look at. Or if you go over a market and someone starts to bargain with you, although you totally don't have any interest, but you feel like uncomfortable and just try to get out of the situation. So having all of these experiences, naturally people, when they walk into your store, already be like, oh yeah, oh no, she's talking to me, I just need to block her out. This has obviously nothing to do with yourself. It's just based on past experiences customers do have. However, it is, sorry, the lightning is really bad again. So even though if it has nothing to do with you, because they don't know you, they don't know what you want, etc., it's based on their past experience, and we still have to deal with it in a professional manner. If someone walks into the store and we want to have a conversation, open them up for having a chat. So this is why great salespeople do not tell what the customer needs or sell stuff, because we always have like this market or call salesy feeling where people be like, oh, have you seen that? This is the newest edition. And the problem with that is we totally ignore why the customer walked into our shop or into our fair or whatever. So the moment we're going to start talking about something that is not relevant to our customer, we're going to lose them. They're going to lose interest, and we're going to lose the connection or fail to even establish a connection in the first place. A nice way to understand, I think, the concept of between like questions versus telling someone something is the moment you tell someone something, it closes their mind, because they no longer have to think for themselves. They only be like, no, this doesn't feel right to me. But they don't really, either feel seen, or they be like, okay, no, this person doesn't get me, or, well, this brand is not for me. This is the worst case. If they be like, oh, this brand is not for me, it might be that they never step back into your store. So when we then ask questions and really, get them engaged and understand them, and giving them the feeling that we see them and that we really want to understand what brought them in today, and we also acknowledge and accept their boundaries, they feel more seen, they feel valued. And the moment your customer feels seen and valued and being truly recognized as someone important, they open up. And well, there's where psychology kicks in a bit, because we all like to talk about ourselves. Even if someone is quite introverted, they even take longer, obviously, until they get to the point. But still, we all want to be seen, we all want to belong, we all want to be treated as someone who's worth being seen. So this is like the psychology behind it. So the moment you treat people with respect and truly make them aware that you see them, that that it's about them, they gonna build trust. Well, not necessarily like trust immediately, but like rapport. And when we have established rapport with our customers, they then open up and share stories with you. They share their motives. They share what they are looking for. Why are they looking for this? So you will have naturally way more points where you can like link onto new sales or like opportunities, etc. I know this sounds like maybe a bit mean, but this is not mean at all. It is what happens in everyday situations, everyday communication, when we communicate efficiently, right? The problem nowadays is only though that we most often don't even bother seeing someone, because we be like me, having these conversations. Loads of speakers be like my personal story without linking it to the audience and the relevancy to the audience, etc. for example, right? But we already said the moment someone walks into your store and they buy something, they only buy for the reason if what you can offer has something for them. So what's in it for me? We stick with this question because this is just so incredibly important. You will always want to answer, what does my solution has for you? What's in it for you, right? So you will always answer this to your customer. And yes, it's your jewelry, you created it, but it never is about you. It never is about your brand. It always is about the customer and what the jewelry can do for them, right? Even if, let's stick with a big brand, like let's stick with Cartier, Tiffany, whoever, right? So even if people buy, or when people go into the store to buy something that has a very, very strong brand recognition, it is merely about the brand itself. It is always about the association with the brand and what it does for them. So firstly, you want to ask questions, and secondly, you want to ask the right questions. Then thirdly, you want to listen to understand, not to answer. Like sales professionals, usually the moment someone says something, like for example throws in an objection like, oh, these diamonds look really tiny, or I don't know if it's really her style, or it's out of my budget, whatever it might be. Sales professionals usually be like, link, oh, you know what, and come up with a reason why they still should purchase. This is not the most efficient way to do so, but really to see the concern and really address the concern, understand why they are saying that, and not shutting them down, but really taking them serious, right? So if you have done all this and idly, you then can get into the sales conversation.